Brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel on this Wisdom Wednesday. I'm excited to be able to share with you this message today of a young person's wisdom is despised. And going throughout my journey, on my wisdom journey now, I've seen that there are two types of people whose wisdom is despised by almost everyone. And I talked about one of them weeks ago, is the poor man's wisdom. This poor man in the book of Ecclesiastes, he delivered a city and a town, but a little while after that, people did not even know who this poor person was. And then there's another type of person who I don't really see a whole lot of references in the scripture, but I've been able to see this in my own experience in practical matters, is that a young person's wisdom is despised. Two types of people: a poor person's wisdom and a young person's experience. The poor person's wisdom is despised because the individuals are looking at that poor person saying, well, if you're so wise, why don't you have money? If you're so wise, why don't you have a place to stay? If you're so wise, why are you in the condition that you're in? And then the young person's wisdom is despised because they're looking at them and they're saying, well, you haven't lived long enough to be talking like this. Who are you to be able to tell me something about wisdom? Because individuals, if they are not the first one to be talking about a concept or talking about wisdom on a large scale, maybe like you are, or to the group of people that you're talking to, they are going to despise that. Or if you're a person that try to come and bring things to them, and of course wisdom will tell us how to do that, then they will get upset at that as well. So I want to be able to talk to these people today who have been out in the pavement. You've been talking about wisdom. You've been digging away at this hidden treasure, and you see the value in it. And individuals, they're not receiving you. Individuals, they're looking at you like you're crazy. I want to share this message with you today so that you can be encouraged. All right, so now check this out. When you go to Ecclesiasticus, this is one of the things that the young people want to make sure that you do not do. All right, it said you do not want to overtalk elders. When you go to Ecclesiastes, I believe it's 7:14, it says to use not many words in a multitude of elders. This is one thing that can diminish your credibility immediately, is when you go into a group of aged individuals that are 20, 30 years older than you, 15 years older than you, and you begin to dominate the conversation. That is going to make your wisdom to become despised. If you are in a room of individuals that are older than you and you're the youngest person in the room, it is wiser for you to wait till everyone else finish their conversation and their talk, and then you interject if they consent to it. That's what I've had to learn as well. You know, sometimes older individuals, they don't want you to say anything at all. They don't feel like you're qualified to speak on a topic or a matter. No matter how much money you made, no matter how many degrees you had, if you're younger than them, they don't want to hear your advice. Pay attention to a situation in the book of Job. This is not in the four main wisdom books, but this was some wisdom. There was a man named Elihu. Job, Eliphaz, Job's friends, his acquaintance, the people that was coming and they was conversing to him, they was talking to him about the situation that he was in and all the catastrophic things he was going through. And there was a young man named Elihu, and it said that he spoke last because he was the youngest. See, Elihu, he operated in wisdom. This is the same thing that we have to operate in so that our wisdom is not despised. Also too, all right, it's better for us to apply the wisdom more than just talking about it, because that's what individuals, they hate. They hate when we are just out here talking about wisdom, talking about wisdom. I've been on this journey now for 20 years, but 20 years ago, I had 20 years less experience than I had now, so I couldn't really put it all together. I was reading, they said read a proverb a day. I encourage you to do that as well. You know, read one chapter of Proverbs every day of the month. 30 days of the month, 31 days is 31 Proverbs. You can read those. It's going to help to enlighten you. Of course, back then, I didn't know about the Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach. All right, that is a book right there. You can read a chapter of that. It's more chapters than 31 in there. But if you do that, it's going to take you to a whole nother level. But back then, I was just reading this. So now I have more experience, but some individuals, they see me in my 40s and they still do not want to hear the words that come out of my mouth because they say that you are too young to be talking about wisdom. This is the topic that individuals have to be speaking on when they have a hair full of gray hair. This is the topic that individuals, they want to hear from when a person has a PhD in the back, or they are a bishop or a pastor or a so-called moray. These are the people that's supposed to be talking about wisdom, or someone that's an older mother. What are you talking about wisdom for? And you in your 40s? I started talking about it on a larger scale in the 30s. All right, the individuals then and now I got multiple books out on it, and there are people that despise that. They actually hate me because I have information out about wisdom, and there's people around the country that's been buying it and sharing it with other people. They despise that. So now I've had to learn that, listen, it's not about what I'm saying. It's I have to apply it. And I want to share that same message with those of you that's out there. Use not many words in a multitude of elders, or your wisdom will be despised. Another thing about it is that we have to not interrupt individuals in the midst of their conversation. It said, answer not before you heard the cause, neither interrupt men in the midst of their conversation. This is one thing that can diminish your reputation of wisdom as well, is if someone is trying to speak and they see you constantly keep cutting people off, then they're going to be looking at you and they're going to despise your wisdom. Pay attention to what happened in the so-called New Testament. Paul told Timothy, do not let them despise your youth. All right, I want to tell that to you as well that's watching me. Don't let them people despise you. If they 65 or 70 years old and they haven't got a hold of this wisdom, and you got a hold of it, and you 25 or you 35, and you want to tell people about it, but you see people they're not excited like you, don't let that deter you. Don't let that abate your courage. Continue to move forward. Continue to open up that treasure box of wisdom, and continue to keep on seeking out the Most High, and reach out to those elders. Reach out to those people. I reached out to an elder some years ago. All right, this man had experience, and I tried to have him to be an elder to me, and he denied me. Even if you're reaching out to people and they're denying you, all right, keep searching and seeking for wisdom. Keep praying and asking the Most High. If you're a woman out there and you're by yourself and you feel like you don't have no help, you don't have no experienced women, keep praying that the Most High will send you a mother, or we like to call her Ima, that can pour into you and that can share more wisdom with you. But don't let that stop you. Don't let that stop you from getting your word and studying wisdom on your own. Don't let that stop you from going back and looking over your life experiences and trying to gain the valuable treasure through those experiences. Don't let that deter you. Continue to keep marching forward. Continue to keep praying to the Most High, because it says wisdom is a principal thing. With all thy getting, get an understanding. So get the understanding, all right, by asking the Most High for it if you don't have no older people in your life. And keep praying. The same thing I had to do years ago. I didn't have elders. I was making decisions that were costly decisions. And now that I have elders, I can go to these elders. All right, but some of these people, and I'm saying that all these are my elders, but other individuals, they have experience with elders to where the elders that they came across wisdom, and the elders despise them now. What did David say? He said in the scriptures that you have given me more understanding than the ancients. David said, you're giving me more understanding than the ancients. These are elder men that was over him, but the Most High looked at his spirit. Pay attention to what Solomon prayed in the book of 1 Kings, when he asked. And a lot of people, when they talk about Solomon, they say he prayed for wisdom. No, Solomon prayed for understanding. Solomon prayed that you give me an understanding heart so that I could judge these people. Then the Most High said, because you did not ask for long life, you didn't ask for the life of your enemies, you didn't ask for riches, I'm going to make you more wiser and more, basically more prosperous than any other king came before you. Right? But Solomon was a young man. Imagine how many people despise his wisdom. Imagine him when the two women, them harlots, came to him, and they was trying to talk about that child. They was trying to say, whose child is this? And the woman was one woman was claiming the child, the other one was claiming the child, and he said, bring me a knife, bring me a sword, so and cut the child in half. Imagine how those people were when he was able to execute judgment, and the spirit of the Most High came upon him. I believe at the end of the chapter he said those people, they heard it and they feared. So you don't have to do a lot of talking. Just let your light speak. Just continue to let your light shine. Continue to walk in your purpose. All right. Yes, this is hardening. It's discouraging when you have the people that you want to approve of you, but they don't approve of you. All right. But guess what? Are you looking for those people to approve more of you, or your Heavenly Father? And that's what I want you, those of you that's out there today. All right. So listen, as I'm about to wrap this up, I just want to encourage you today. Continually keep seeking wisdom. Continue to get around wise counsel. Continue to seek wise elders and mentors and mothers and people that have more experiences than you, and you add their experience to your lifestyle, and then it's going to help you to become a better person. But you have to stay humble. Don't go around older people trying to teach them. Wait till they consent. to your advice. If they see you as a young person of wisdom, let them ask you questions, and then you will open up the floor for you to be able to speak. But when you speak, let your words be few. Say what you need to say, get to the point of the matter, and then turn it right back over to them as a way of you showing respect. And then it will help them to respect your wisdom more than others. So a poor man's wisdom is despised, and a young person's wisdom is despised. All right. So I pray that the Most High continually be with you. All you young people out there, continue to seek wisdom. All right. So the next time we see each other again,